Porsche Macan GTS. Just picked it up this week. Going for a little Sunday drive, and just down the road from my house out here in the country. Just got it in comfort mode, normal mode right now, letting everything get warmed up before we try some other modes out. Gorgeous day today. Just seemed like a good day to go for a drive. I do have the sports exhaust enabled, but other than that, just driving in normal. It's very comfortable, rides really well. Yeah, so we're just going to sit back and enjoy it here for a few minutes. Even in normal mode, even in comfort, you know, a bit of a sweeper like that, not much body roll, not much lean, very easy to place. Feels completely in control. I've had some questions from some folks. Why did you trade your previous car on this one especially so quickly? And previous car was a 2018 Audi TTRS, which was a pretty serious sports car. Obviously much smaller, two-door, you know, turbocharged, inline 5-cylinder, 400 horsepower, very fast. The Macan GTS, 360 horsepower, and about 1,000 pounds more weight to carry around. So that seems like a change maybe that doesn't make a lot of sense, or that's not logical. And the way that I kind of looked at it was the TTRS is really sort of an Uber hot hatch. The Macan GTS is Porsche's version of a hot hatch, whether intentional or not. And it still has plenty of power for me. It still has plenty of speed. I don't feel that I am lacking in power or speed or velocity or any of those things with the GTS. And out here in the country, I've always been more about handling prowess than I have about outright speed anyway, because you never know what's gonna run out in the road in front of you out here, or come around the corner and have limbs in the road, a whole tree. Sometimes dogs, squirrels, possums, raccoons, deer, turkey. It's just part of living in the country. So it's always been more for me about a car that handles really well and a car that stops really well. And Macan GTS does those things. And even bigger than that, really, is just the feel, the difference in feel between the Audi and the Porsche here. The Audi was extremely competent, great front end as far as just gripping and getting around a corner, being able to do exactly what you wanted it to do at all times. But just the way that it involved me as a driver, it just never really connected. You know, it did its thing, and it was very easy to drive fast, but I had an intellectual appreciation for it, but I never really connected with it, I guess, on an emotional level. Let me turn off that auto start stop. We don't want that. And let's go to sport. The Macan GTS, I've driven it previously at the Porsche Experience Center in Atlanta, and felt a connection with it right away. And of course I was driving it like my hair was on fire that whole time at the track, an hour-and-a-half session, 90-minute session. And so I knew it was fun. I knew I enjoyed it, but I really didn't know how it would be as just a normal car. Just as a, you know, going from point A to point B, going back and forth to work, all of those things. I figured it would be pretty great, but until I actually went and test drove one this past week, just on surface streets around town and on the highway, I really didn't know. So having the Audi about 6 months and just never getting to the point where I was extremely comfortable with it and just really engaged with it, you know, for that amount of money, you ought to love it. And so I kind of dropped back and punted a little bit and went and found this car, which is a 2018 CPO with nearly 10,000 miles on it. And just kind of fell in love with it all over again. And it is a great car to drive just from point A to point B, back and forth to work and all of those things. But then getting back on some roads like this, it's still engaging, it's still fun. It just feels athletic. It just feels like it wants to go, and there's a great weight to the steering wheel, and just the connection between you and the car and the chassis and the road is just there. The driving position is great, the sound is great, and so yeah, it's just all really good things. And so as we get into some of these other twisty bits up here, let's go ahead and go to Sport Plus. And firm things up even a bit more and just enjoy it. And I'm going to try not to get too crazy out here for reasons already mentioned. What a beautiful day for December 2nd. I had 2.5 inches of rain yesterday, so then to be able to come out on a day like today where it's just so pretty and clear, and it's just a really nice thing to get to be able to do. And this is one of my favorite roads, but I hadn't been driving it in the Audi because it's gotten in pretty bad repair, and that was another reason that led me to sort of make this change. The Audi had 20-inch wheels with 30 aspect ratio tires, which is a very skinny, very small amount of rubber to put between the wheel and the road. And so on a road like this, which is not in great repair, you just felt everything, and just, you know, going over any kind of speed, it just felt like it was very hard on the car, and I could easily see busting a tire and damaging a wheel, a very expensive wheel. Macan, this actually has 21-inch wheels, but larger cross section, and just more rubber between the wheel and the road, and it just handles, even in Sport Plus, it just handles this kind of thing so much better. It's just able to soak up these bumps while still being a really engaging drive. Of course, we're behind somebody that's going a little slower than we'd like, but that's okay, because we can do this. Didn't feel like like I was in any kind of need for more power to get around that slower moving vehicle and do that overtaking maneuver. this way again. Gives you those really crisp downshifts. This is a well-optioned Macan GTS. Probably see in front of me here, I've got the garnet red instrument dials, garnet red sport chrono. This is the two-tone interior, and garnet red and black. Of course, it's got the deviated stitching. It's got the 18-way seats. It does have the panoramic roof above us here. Volcano gray exterior, 21-inch sport design, classic wheels. Most of the what I call electronic safety options, as far as automatic cruise control, lane keep assist, lane change assist. It's got the Porsche Connect, Porsche Connect Plus, nav, and of course all the good stuff that comes with the GTS anyway. So fairly well optioned car, and definitely really like this color combination. This is one of my absolute favorite combinations, this dark gray with the sort of the red interior. And it just did that really, really well. Braking, heading downhill, coming into the corner, downshifted, and just handled it. Stab of the brakes there, and another here. And you can tell probably from the camera how bumpy this is. Transition so well. A transition from power to brakes to steering, getting around a corner, and even in a 4,300 odd pound vehicle like this, it just feels athletic. The chassis feels lively. It feels like it wants to dance a little bit. And that's why these are fun. That's why Porsche sells a ton of these. That's why the Macan is their best-selling vehicle across the line, and the GTS is extremely popular. It's just a really well thought out package. section here, so I'm just gonna drop back to sport. And I've just been letting the PDK do its thing because it does such a great job. It is fun to pull the paddles, but for today I'm just letting PDK do its thing. I think Porsche engineers did such a good job with how this sounds from the driver's seat. The intake noise, the exhaust noise. I really enjoy the way this sounds under power. It just makes a really good noise.